I've got to go help move things. So, but I definitely am going to want to have you back on, especially as you get closer to opening, and, when you've just made some decisions about what your opening lineup's going to be. That should be really interesting.
I appreciate that, and I'll definitely do that. I've been watching some of the text comments go by. I mean, I have to say it's a killer honor for people to have thought that I was interesting and that I should come back on the show and like to hear what I have to say. As you can tell, I'm extremely passionate about this.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big driver. As we all know, and talking to people around this industry, that's a huge driver for people. You have to have passion for this.
Yeah.
It's not just that you have to know what you're doing. You certainly have to know that. But you have to be passionate about it. You have to be curious, to try different things. So I'm hugely honored that people thought that I was interesting, and I would certainly love to come back on, anytime and share on any of these topics. And I think, as you figured out, I'll share anything. I'm not hiding. I don't care. I mean, I honestly, my whole game for the last 13 years, as I figured out that I had some skills with this, is that I wanted other homebrewers who wanted to know how to do this. I wanted them to know as much about it as I did, as soon as they wanted to. Because, I mean, I have a local homebrew club up here. Man, I drink well. I drink really, really well. And to know that some of these people have only been doing it a couple of years, and when they create something really well, they're making a beeline to share it with me. Like, oh, remember when you told me how to do this, and that really helped? Like, this is the thing that I made from it. And
that's awesome.
It is, because it's a huge honor for them to recognize that I did that for them. But then the stuff is really good, and I've got a smile on my face because I'm drinking good. So if I can do that for people that are listening to the podcast, I mean, I'm game, because
totally.
We're all living better with this, and it's really the model for my business. I mean, I hope homebrewers are going to come check us out and want to know, how do you do this? Show me what you guys do. I mean, I got a bigger setup, big deal. You can do all this at home, and I'll tell you how to do it, because if that's what works for you, because you want to do it, you want the hands-on, and you want to make good beverages at home, that works for me too. I mean, keep coming back and buying my stuff too, but but I still want to be able to, to help people do that, because it's empowering. It's been hugely empowering for me, to be able to learn how to do this. I'm a tradesperson. I have a craft. I know how to do something that it feels to me like the thing out of my entire life that I do. Because, I mean, I'm a software engineer and I love doing that, but I don't feel as good about that as I do about this. To some degree, if I was into fate and into, kind of talking about where people's paths would take them and whatnot, I would suggest this is what I was meant to do. I don't know that that's the case, but it certainly feels like it's a good analogy.
Then who cares? It doesn't have to be that.
Right.
That's like, are you my soulmate? I don't know. I love you so much I can't live without you. That'll work. So yeah, I mean, if you found it took me till I was 51 to find my place in this world. Even though I've been doing Got Mead for 20 years and I knew that was part of it, I never had all of it. It was like I had one piece of the puzzle. So when I figured out that I could use my marketing skills in the craft beverage industry, I was like, oh my God, I can actually make money at this? Oh my God. It was like somebody hit me in the head with a bat. I had no idea. I never considered it. So yeah, I mean, when something clicks like that.
That seems honest though. That seems incredibly honest. Like you didn't go into it with this, I am going to have the entire world eating out of my hand plan. You went into it with, I'm going to learn how to do this. I want to be an advocate. I want to make friends. I want to have connections. And they're like, oh crap, I could actually do this and make money, couldn't I? Oh, that's a neat idea.
Yeah, I've been running Got Mead without making any money other than just the patron memberships, which doesn't amount to much, believe me, for 20 years. And just because I love mead and I wanted to spread the word. And then I've been doing marketing, but not in this industry for almost as long, but, doing it for other people and getting paid for it, because that's what I do. But then when one of my coaches, she was like, dude, all you ever talk about is this mead stuff. Is there some reason why you don't actually work in this industry? And I'm going, I never actually thought about that because it's my passion, not my job, So, once I figured that out, I was like, oh my God, it's like peas and carrots. We could do this. Yeah. So, I'm incredibly excited that I can take and do what I do to help people like you do what you do and get it in front of the people that need to know about it. And that's why I do this. I mean, yeah, I make money doing it, but it's obviously, I think it's worthwhile, and the people that work with me do too, or they wouldn't work with me. But, it's awesome to know that I can take that and get out there and really do something. So
yeah, and I appreciate the opportunity. I mean, this is probably the most public that I've really gone with Ancient Fire so far, and I know that I'm going to get hits on Facebook tomorrow. People going, "Hey, I heard about it last night. It's really cool. What's going on? Where are you going to be?" And I don't have answers to all those questions, but it's just going to be awesome to have people asking that, and because that's going to drive me. I got to get the answer to this question because people really want to know, and I got to do it anyway because I got to get my business started. But it's a nice driver to be able to do that. So I really appreciate the opportunity. And as soon as you pick back up with your schedule in the new year and you're looking at dates that you need to have people on, let me know, and I'll certainly come back on and we can pick some other crazy topics to talk about.
Yeah, well, I'd love to have you come on and just talk shop for a couple of hours, where we just sit around and talk about making mead and, whatever it is that we're interested in or whatever's topical, in the mead world. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Or we could have you in for Back to Basics if we go back to that format.
Yeah, I mean, I got a bunch of things I do. I have a log sheet that I think originally came from Steve Piat's, but I've customized it a little bit to keep track of what I do. And I've got fermentation calculations, so it'll calculate what percent fermented based on your targets and stuff. And so we can talk about that kind of stuff, and we can then ultimately share an empty template of that so people can grab onto it. Anything to enable people to understand that the more you focus on what you're trying to do from a number of angles, the more likely it is you're going to end up getting results where you're like, wow, this is really awesome. And that's what I want people to be able to do. If you're going to set out trying to make mead, I always worry when I get bad meads at the competition table because I'm like, oh man, and this person spent a ton of money on honey, and I bet you they didn't get the result that they were necessarily looking for. It seems like a shame. So
yeah, there's a guy on Got Mead today that was asking that very question. He's on the Got Mead Facebook page.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, the new guy. Yeah, and he was like, "Why does it taste like this?" And so we're all trying to help him.
Yep, absolutely. And to me, it's like, okay, I guess the only thing I can do there is I can provide suggestions on here's what I do here, and here's when I started doing it, and here's the difference that it made. Like, I still have a visceral feel for some of that stuff, even though it's been like 4 or 5 years where I made some big process changes. But I can tell you, this thing made a big difference. And I think that that's enabling for people, because when they hear that, they're like, all right, yeah, so maybe I do need to buy that dorm fridge and the temperature controller and, really get my situation worked out where I can keep a carboy cool. And then they do it. And 4 months later, they're drinking this glass of mead. They're like, oh my God, he was right. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So if I can help with that, I'm game to do it as well. Cause
cool.
It's been my experience, and I want more people to do this, because I think the best stuff out there, I mean, I say this as an aspiring commercial producer, the best stuff out there is the stuff that people make at home, because they're making these little dinky batches that they're giving tons of love to. Yeah. And you hope they give the right love to it, and then they're, creating stuff that's really magical. Some of us just happen to aspire to sell it to other people and hope that we can continue to create the magic in our own commercial entities. So
yeah. So, all right, well, then we're going to let you get on with drinking a little mead, and I'm going to go finish my white chicken pizza and get on with helping schlep boxes for another while. I'm going to be so sore tomorrow. It's going to hurt. But, yeah, I'll give you a holler after the new year, and, we'll see about putting you back in so that we can just talk shop for a while.
Cool. And otherwise, I'll see you guys on the internet.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, Jason. I really appreciate it.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Well, that was a lot of fun.
Okay, it's not just me. They are getting more and more awesome every time we have another person, right?
There's really awesome people out there. And, wait, next week. Okay, next week we have we have Kirk Jones, who's the owner of St. Ambrose Meadery, and he is one of the biggest honey producers on the East Coast.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, he does hives all the way up and down the East Coast, and I'm pretty sure he does some in California too. So he's going to have a lot of really and he's got a winery, a meadery, and now he's opening a distillery. So there should be some really interesting stuff there. Yeah, so that'll be fun. But let's get through the finishing stuff here so that we can make things happen. All right, so. Events upcoming, because nobody sent me anything new. We've got Starlight Mead with several upcoming events. Black Snake Mead, also multiple upcoming events. Golden Coast's always got something going on. Great Society, and all of these are linked on the show page, so just go there and you can click straight through to it. Great Society, Cider and Mead. Multiple events going on. Mace Mead Works, live music every Saturday night. Brothers Drake Meadery, concert events every other week or so. Orrin Moore, Artisan Mead, always has something interesting going on. And we just need to do a mention here. What exactly was the award that you won, Haim?
Sorry, what?
Didn't you just win something, dearie?
We did have the biggest amateur wine show competition in Australia on the weekend, and I wanted to have a big shout out to our good friend Joel Robinson, who picked up 2 medals. A good friend who listens to the show, Jean-Pierre, who picked up a gold and a silver. And who else? There was
There was you.
And Naomi also got a.
Listen to him!
So,
oh my God!
Yeah. I might have got best in class and best mead as well for one of mine.
Okay, there you go. Listen to this guy. God, talk about retiring. Well, congratulations to you and Jean-Pierre and not Paul. Help me. Joel, thank you. And Joel for...
What was the other name?
Yeah.
Oh, and Brian, of course.
And Brian, yeah.
Too. Well done, Brian.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody.
For kicking butt and taking names in the largest amateur wine competition in Australia.
Yeah, we had
Nice.
63 meads this year.
Nice.
Really good turnout.
That is very cool. So, upcoming, we've only got 2 more shows. I think it's 2 more shows before we hit December and take a month off, which means that A, we're going to be doing holiday stuff, and B, we're going to be plotting and planning to take over the world. Oh, well, okay, make better mead shows next year. So, sorry, I didn't mean to let that slip. But,
Same thing we do every night, Pinky.
That's right. Plotting to take over the world. But I don't know how we're going to get the elephant into those pantyhose. We'll have to work on that. So upcoming, we have beekeepers. We have both Kirk Jones with St. Ambrose Meadery in Michigan, and also a large beekeeper, and then Bob Slants, who is a beekeeper and mead maker in New York, and he does urban beekeeping. So that's really interesting, because I know we've got a lot of urban mead makers out there that are maybe interested in putting a hive out, but got no yard to do it in. So this is something that is of great interest to many people. Mm-hmm. So, in the meantime, we're, 45 minutes over? I think this is the longest we've run over so far. You're right. They just keep getting more and more interesting, and we just can't stop. Oh, my God. It's like a drug.
We're enablers.
Yeah, I know we are, right? So, all right. So, we're going to go ahead and shut her down. Join us next Tuesday night, same bat time, same bat channel at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And what time is it in Australia?
That's 1 p.m. on Wednesdays.
1 p.m. on Wednesdays. And, for another episode of... not Batman, Got Me Live. Yeah, that's it. So, say goodnight, AJ.
Good night, AJ.
Say goodnight, Manny.
Good night, Manny.
Say goodnight, Hamish.
Good night, Hamish.
Say good night, Vicky.
Good night, Vicky. And we'll see y'all in a week. Night.